Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back for season 16 of the V8 Veterans. For anyone that's new to the channel or new to V8 Veterans, I post these track guides every Monday, try to get them up by Monday anyway, and I record the race on Thursday nights and try to get it up by Sunday. So either check that out in the drivers stream channel in the V8 Veterans or go to YouTube, just type in Trav TV, should come up. So without further ado, I'll jump into the track guide and I'll talk you through it from my point of view. For anyone that's having a bit of trouble with it, anyone new to the season or anyone new to racing in general, and hopefully it'll help. So just coming into the main straight here, I'll talk you into this last corner once we've done the whole lap, but just coming onto the main straight here, I'll leave this up at the top and bottom as well, just with this telemetry at the bottom here. Just because I usually have a Race Labs telemetry up, but just to let you know what I'm doing with the braking and the accelerating. I'll try to talk you through it, but just keep an eye on that as well, because it's not showing up on for my brake telemetry in Race Labs at the moment, so I'm not really sure what's going on, but I'll figure it out. So coming into the main straight here, guys, you're all the way up to 6th gear by the end of the straight here. So you're just coming up to the first corner, probably at about between the 100 and the end of the wall there. I go about right in the middle. As I said, I'm all the way up into 6th gear. I go back to 5th, back to 4th. In a straight line, as always, for anyone new to the channel, always brake in a straight line when you're doing your hard braking, and then trailing off into the corner and hitting your apex before accelerating out. For anyone that's new, doesn't know about trail braking, yeah, just you're basically hitting your brake marker, getting all your hard braking done in a straight line, and then your corners over here. Once you've done all your hard braking, you're just slowly coming off the brake, sorry, as you're trailing over towards the apex of the corner, hence why it's called trail braking. And then once you hit your apex, just accelerating out. So with this one, yeah, as I said, I'm all the way up into 6th gear here, back to 5th, back to 4th in a straight line, coming across the apex and accelerating out. Make sure you accelerate out of this corner up the hill, as it'll keep you more over to the right and get the car turned in the arse end to get back up the hill for the next left right hander. So as you'll see here, coming across, hitting the apex, accelerating out as I hit the apex, keeping the car right around to the middle of the track. It's coming up to this next one, the right hander. So you come into a bit of a left hander, and then into a blind right hander for anyone that doesn't know. So I'm in 4th gear here. Just as I start coming up top of the hill here, I hit 3rd gear just to wash off some speed, keeping nice and tight to the left hand curb. And then I'll explain it. Just come up here, I'll show you what I do. So coming over real tight on the left hand curb there. Once about half my car is over the end of the left hand curb, I start turning into this right hander. You can see the corner there from this view, but inside the cockpit it's really blind, you can't see what you're doing, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, I have myself what I call, so for all braking you have a brake marker, so where you'll see a certain point you'll start braking. With this I call it just a turn in marker, like a turning marker basically. So once your car's halfway over the end of that curb, start turning in. If you can practice it, you'll get it right every time. You don't even have to see the corner, you can just go, all right, I'm at this corner, I'm braking, turn in. And once you actually spot your corner, you'll pretty much be in the same spot every time. So just keep that in mind, guys. Have a bit of a practice with that one. So coming through this corner in 3rd, it will kick your wheels up a little bit, kick the car up. Nothing too major, just outside the car it looks like heaps, but inside the car you won't really feel too much. So pretty easy to keep under control. I'll show you that one. Coming across, just kicking it up a little bit there, and then stick across to the left-hand side of the track there, keeping nice and tight to that left-hand curb in 3rd gear. Once you hit this part of the track where it joins, basically, I'm shifting 4th, but still trying to keep over to the left-hand side of the track here, as you'll see coming over here. And then once again, coming down the hill here can be a little bit blind as well once you're in the cockpit. So this left-hand side curb, I try to get as far over to that as I can, and then once I hit that curb, once I see it in the cockpit go past me, I start turning in for this next right-hander. And you want to keep nice and tight to this right-hand side of the road here. You'll even probably just chuck a right-hand wheel up on the curb there. Nothing too much to worry about, but it will keep you nice and tight to the right-hand side of the road, just to set you up for the left right hander coming into this next tricky sort of left hander. So as you'll see here, coming down the hill, nice and tight there, jumping the left hand side of the curb here, and then sets you up for that coming into this next left-hander. So this next left-hander, I've taken it a few different ways. It can be very tricky coming out of it especially, but coming into it, I've popped my right-hand tyres right up on the curb. I've gone off the curb. I've gone just on the curb. I found just putting your right-hand tyres just on the curb to get maximum width on the road, to use most of the road, as much of the road as you can, and then getting a mid-apex on this next left-hander, as you'll see here. So coming into it, and then just hitting a mid-apex. So I try not to take too much wheel on the right back here. Too much. I try not to put, I usually don't put that much wheel up on the curb there. So I just take a little bit of this one, but then I take a reasonably big chunk out of it here. If you hit it where I've hit it right there, it'll put you up on the curb reasonably smoothly, pretty smoothly, better than going earlier or later. And then it'll give you a good run out of this left-hander without chucking the car over the right-hand curbs here too much, as you'll see up here. So you don't want to go too far out there too early, as you'll get a lot of bumping and the car will spin around and it just won't be smooth, so therefore it won't be fast. So coming down this back little hill here into this next right-hander, everyone probably knows this is reasonably straightforward at the whatever the hell that was. Let's go back here. What was that? 200. So at the 200 here, pretty much on or just before the 200, I'm braking once again in a straight line, back to fourth, back to third, and then hugging the corner nice and tightly. It's not too much. It's probably an earlier apex, if anything. So when I say an apex, so that's your corner, if you can see the corner. So you're coming in, this is an earlier apex, coming in nice and tight here. This is a mid sort of apex, hitting mid part of the corner, and then a later apex coming around here. So with this corner, I'm hitting more of a mid apex. And keeping it nice and tight, and then accelerating out as much as I can without losing the arse end. It's coming through here, nice sort of mid apex, keeping it nice and tight and accelerating out. So once you come out of the corner, the right-hander there, sweeping across to the left, they're using as much of the track as possible. Basically, as a guide, so there's not really anywhere, no markers to really brake here. So I come out of it, once I've straightened the car out, like powering out, straighten the car out, get off the accelerator, on the brakes, back to second. So you don't want to go off brake second really quickly. You want to go off the accelerator and on the brakes pretty much straight away. So off the accelerator, on the brakes. Once your braking's done, your weight's over the front tires, then back to second, setting up for this next right-hander. This can be a real tricky one. I don't even know why, because the track's not off camber or anything. It's not a weird corner. It's just basically a 90-degree corner. But for some reason, I always find coming into it a little bit of a tricky one. Tend to get a lot of understeer, and then coming out of it can be a little bit slippery as well. You get a lot of oversteer, so just watch that one, guys, coming into here. So you will be coming in here in second. Just try to sort of regulate your speed. You don't want to brake too late into this one. You will get a lot of understeer. It's coming into the corner here. Nice mid apex there, and then accelerating out as hard as you can, nice and early, basically just before, just on the apex. Start accelerating as much as you can. Get a good run out of there. Try to get a good run. Practice that one, because you don't want to get drafted down this back straight here. A lot of the overtaking will get done down the back straight here, so just keep that in mind, guys, coming out of that last right-hander, that you do get a good run out of it. It's coming into this next left-hander between the 100 and the 200 on the right there. I start braking just for a conservative lap time, just to keep it reasonably quick and smooth. You can probably brake at the latest on the 100 there if you're overtaking someone up the inside there. But yeah, generally between the 100 and the 200 there, keeping over to the right-hand side of the track. Once again, in a straight line, always in a straight line, braking from 6th gear all the way back down to second. As you'll see, just coming up to the corner here, in a straight line, tapering off. As you can see, I'm still on the brakes, and I'm still half braking, but that's coming into the corner. So I'm at about 3/4, but I'm doing all that 3/4 braking in a straight line, basically up to about this white line here. And then once I hit that starting taper off the braking, as you can see it coming across there, hitting my apex. So I probably could have come off a little bit earlier and started accelerating out. But yeah, trailing off into the corner, hitting your apex, and then coming through this one, you want to keep sort of mid-track. Generally, you're keeping on the accelerator just a little bit, just to keep the car steady, not going off and on, which will shoot the weight of the car backwards and forwards, which will unsteady the car. You want to just keep a little bit of acceleration coming through here, just to keep it nice and steady. So coming into this next one, keeping it mid-track, and then coming out more of a late apex to straighten out the right-hander going up the hill, as you can see here, or in second still, as I said. Coming out of there using all the track. So you will shoot you over to the left-hand side of the track here, coming up under the bridge. Um, just because the car's shooting out to the left here. I find in some of the official races, I've noticed a lot of people staying out to the left there, and then they got to get off the accelerator just to keep the car back on the track. So what you want to do is come all the way over the left here, but then shoot back across to the right, as you'll see here. So you want to come across and then aim more towards that right hand wall just under the bridge here, just to keep the car over to that right hand side of the road, so that when you get over here and the weight comes out of the car, you start to drift across to the left, which is using all of the track there, which is probably the smoothest line. So all the way up the hill here, you've come out in second, click in third over the hill. I'm pretty much flat out, as you'll see in the telemetry here, but as I come over the hill, I get off the accelerator a little bit just to keep the car steady and not losing the arse end and keeping your maximum speed up. And then it'll shoot you across to the left hand side of the road here, as you'll see. So just off the accelerator, just a little bit there, and coming all the way over to that left hand curb, pretty much at the end of that curb there, I'm starting to come across, but you don't want to come across too early, as you'll hit like an earlier apex, and that'll just shoot you off to the left hand side of the track, coming onto the main straight there. Um, so just watch out for that, because you don't want to, if you come through this corner properly, you click in fifth just before the, so I'm in fourth here. As you start coming across, I can't really do it because I'm not far enough down, but you're coming across and you're coming through here, just as you hit about here, you're hitting fifth gear, just touching the curb with your right tire. If you set up the right line, you can get off the accelerator, as you'll see here, just before I hit the corner. As you hit your curb there, you're just getting back on just to get the arse end around, and you can just get so much speed out of there. That's one of those big areas that some people sort of can't set this corner up to get enough speed out of it, and it tends to let people catch up a lot. And yeah, that's probably where a lot of people are losing their time. So coming through the last corner here, guys, just nicking the curb there, accelerating out and using all the track, as you can see there. That can be a very tricky one, so just practice that one. So there are a fair few corners going around Road Atlanta that are very tricky. Probably the whole bloody track, actually. But once you do suss it out, each corner at a time, and then put it all together, it does become quite a fun little track to race. Stick around for the lap in real time, guys. I'll have it in cockpit view and this view, just so you can check it out. I think I did a 119 for anyone that's 119 flat, basically, for anyone that was interested. But yeah, that's another track guide, guys. I hope it's helped. Leave a thumbs up if it does. Think about subscribing, and can't wait to see you in the race. Cheers, guys.
Ahí, guys, Gyarados door net living. So